It is fascinating when a popular anime character dies. That's why today we're doing the top 5 saddest anime deaths. When an anime character dies, typically you'll see these massive outpourings of love and despair from fans. But it's not like someone has actually died, and yet true emotion bubbles to the surface regardless. So deep down, these people are actually probably pretty thankful their favorite died, which is kind of weird to say. I mean, usually no one's really jumping for joy when someone dies. Okay, when most people die. Anime, however, has the benefit of being separate from our reality. In this case, death isn't so much a tragedy as it is a tool that can be used to further engage your audience. That being said, emotional impact on the viewer is not the only thing this top 5 takes into account. How a character's death plays into the overarching narrative is also really important, whether it be how it affects the characters or the direction of the plot itself. And what better way to start our top 5 than with a character whose death kickstarts the entire anime. Himmel the Hero is an interesting way to start our top 5 because unlike every other character on our list, he dies in literally the first episode of his anime. Not much of a hero if you ask me. He actually kind of defeats the Demon King, who had ruled for an entire millennia up to that point. So he's alright, I guess. After the Demon King's defeat, Himmel and his friends are celebrated as heroes, which they take much delight in. Everyone except for the party's mage Frieren, who really seems like she couldn't care less. You see, Frieren is an elf, which gives her a significantly longer lifespan compared to any other race. So while defeating the Demon King is a grand occasion for Himmel and the others, to her it's kind of just like unjamming the copier on a Tuesday morning at your 9-to-5 office job. So needless to say, Frieren's perspective is a bit different. However, it is in the next scene that this perspective will be shaken to its core. Frieren returns 50 years later to find Himmel is now an old man. Reunited with his friends, however, he goes on one final adventure, to the spot they promised 50 years ago to view the Era meteor shower, the same one that occurred the night their journey ended. On their way, they reminisce about their old adventures, and underneath the night sky, watching the shooting stars dance, Himmel the Hero passes to the next life, having gone on one final adventure with his friends. Himmel's death isn't like other anime deaths. He doesn't die tragically in a shocking twist. He naturally reaches the end of his life, next to the 3 people he saved the world with. And it's beautiful. While we do learn a few things about Himmel before the scene, for the most part, we actually don't know that much about him before his death. And this is by design. One of the biggest themes the Frieren anime explores is how people take their life for granted. They don't cherish the things in their lives before they're gone, which is exactly what Frieren has to deal with after Himmel dies. And the viewer feels this throughout the entire anime. Episode after episode, we are given these small flashbacks of Frieren's journey with Himmel, and it's through these flashbacks we understand who Himmel was. Over the course of 50 years, Himmel has been uplifted as this idea of a perfect, stoic hero, but in reality, he was just kind of a goofy, down-to-earth guy who had a knack for not only drawing people to him, but for inspiring them as well. He always saw the best in everyone he encountered, and it's with this we understand why Frieren is crying. Because later, we as the viewer feel it too. We're washed with a deep sadness that we've missed out on the life of not only a truly exceptional hero, but a cherished friend as well. If you've seen Jujutsu Kaisen, chances are Kento Nanami's death absolutely obliterated you emotionally. You know, kind of like how Nanami was obliterated. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Nanami's death was a huge blow to Jujutsu Kaisen fans across the world, to the point that a fan-made shrine was erected in Malaysia in Nanami's memory. So yes, saying this scene was devastating is putting it rather lightly. But why exactly is this scene so devastating? interesting. You know, aside from the obvious reasons, for one, the anime hadn't spent a ton of time with Nanami up until this point, so it was kind of unexpected to see him die so early on in the story. That's not to say, though, that the anime didn't use that time to meticulously craft his character. Nanami faced the same issue that many people face. The fact that he didn't know what his purpose in life was. We're told that Nanami hates jujutsu sorcerers, he hates salarymen, and quite frankly, all he wants out of life is to make as much money as possible, retire as soon as he can, and live a quiet life in peace. The thing is, these are all things Nanami says, but what exactly is it that Nanami does? At his prior job, Nanami's main priority was to help his clients, much to the ire of his manager, who constantly told him he needs to worry less about them and worry more about getting their money. At a local bakery, Nanami goes out of his way to exorcise a cursed spirit that had been latched onto the cashier, which had been causing her shoulder problems. The cashier thanks him, and immediately after, Nanami quits his salary job and returns to work as a jujutsu sorcerer. While he's mentoring Itadori, we see Nanami constantly telling him to not get involved in especially dangerous cases if it means he can preserve his life. Throughout the time we spend with Nanami, we learn that his life does have meaning, even if he himself can't see it. Despite how solitary Nanami might come off, we learn that truly he lives for others. Whether it's fixing someone's shoulder, saving the life of one of his comrades, or helping to push those like Yuji Itadori further, Nanami lives to help other people. And it's with this revelation, Nanami can die with a smile on his face.
Itadori, you take it from here.
The death of Maes Hughes has reached legendary meme status at this point. Even if you've never watched anything related to Full Metal Alchemist, chances are his death has probably indirectly made its way into your life somehow. I mean, how many of you have seen this screenshot before? Probably a lot of you, and I think this is a testament to how Hughes' death is used in this anime. Hughes lives on in these memes because in the anime itself, his spirit lives on, acting as a driving force for many of the characters. The death of Hughes plays a major role in kicking off part 2 of the anime's story. Our heroes attempting to uncover the culprits of Hughes' murder, the homunculi, who also just so happen to secretly be running the entire country of Amestris and are prepping every citizen of said country for a massive human sacrifice that will create a philosopher's stone of such unprecedented power that it will allow the main antagonist to open the Earth's doorway of truth and in turn swallow the power of God, becoming a perfect being and creating artificial suns in the palm of his hand. You should watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Hughes was murdered because he caught wind of this plan incredibly early on. Up until his death, Hughes fell into the role of a comic relief support character, often annoying others with his constant, incessant gushing over his family. So to have such a massive revelation first teased through a character whose main purpose was light-hearted levity was not only super subversive, but devastating as well. We had basically just gotten to know Hughes, and the second we come to know him as this reliable beacon of positivity for both Mustang and the Elric brothers, he's taken away. And not only that, but taken away in one of the most sinister ways imaginable. Killed by envy, masquerading as Hughes' own wife. I mean, just look at this poor man's face. God, I just want to give him a hug. I feel so bad. It will always be tragic to lose a lovable character, but losing a lovable character who you had just gotten to know will always sting a little bit harder. What exactly are the Titans? Why can't anyone recall life before they appeared? And are there other humans outside of the walls? These are questions that Irvin Smith found himself asking at a young age, and it's this curiosity that led to the murder of Irvin's father. As he grew into an adult, he learned to stop asking questions and to simply be a good soldier. But no matter how much time passed, the drive for answers would always be in the back of his mind. And it's with this insatiable hunger for the truth that Irvin is able to ride into battle, sword clenched in his hand, fire in his eyes, ready to claim the true history of mankind. It's a top 5 anime death list. What were you expecting? So there's obvious reasons why Irvin's death is sad. For one, he was a very popular character in the anime, consistently placing in the top 3 on almost every official character popularity poll in Japan, even after he died. And it's not hard to see why. Irvin was one of the many beacons of hope that the Scout regime and us as the viewers had. He was reliable and level-headed in a world of absolute terror and chaos. But that's not to say he conformed entirely to the military. He often butted heads with the higher brass, whether it be for allowing Eren Yeager to live after the discovery that he could transform into a Titan, or for his endless curiosity of the outside world. And it's this curiosity that the audience is able to relate with in such a compelling way. Because we also really want the mystery of the Titans to be uncovered, and Alright, so I think the reason why this scene is so gut-wrenchingly devastating is because it's morbidly realistic. Irvin died before he got to live his dream, learning the true history of mankind. And I want you to think about something. Popular anime stories tend to run a very, very, very long time. And with an anime as popular as Attack on Titan, the fan base is in the millions. I don't think it would be unrealistic to say that a significant number of fans probably didn't live to see the end of Attack on Titan, or even witness the truth revealed before the story's final arc. And to me, Irvin represents that. Irvin and all the Scouts represent that. These were the thoughts and feelings that Irvin's death elicited from me. And that has to mean something, right? Obviously, I don't have any official statements from Isayama, Attack on Titan's author, but I'd like to think that in some aspect, he was honoring the fans we lost along the way. It goes without saying that this one is in a league of its own. Ace's death is at the very center of one of the most influential story arcs not only in One Piece, but in all of shonen anime. Remember that fan-made Nanami shrine we mentioned earlier in the video? Yeah, both Ace and Whitebeard have official grave sites at Universal Studios Japan. Needless to say, Ace's death is pretty big, and that's because it packs in everything you could possibly want in an anime death. Emotional impact, story impact, and lasting impact. Even after Marineford, Ace's character and death still shape key roles in the story, being one of the major plot points of Dressrosa, and even being relevant as recently as the Wano arc. Ace's death to this day resonates with fans across the globe, and the reason is because Ace, to his core, represents everything that One Piece is about. From a young age, Ace had to hide who he truly was. As the son of the Pirate King Gol D. Roger, if anyone found out his true identity, it would mean certain death. Because any son of the Pirate King would truly be reviled and shunned to everyone. Ace would only be seen as the evil spawn of the Pirate King. That is, to everyone but Luffy. To Luffy, the fact that Ace was the son of Gol D. Roger never really mattered that much, because at the end of the day, Ace wasn't defined by where he came from. He was defined by who he was as a person. And because of this, Luffy and Ace were able to become brothers. And really, isn't that what One Piece is all about? Not allowing yourself to be defined by how people see you, but grasping your own freedom, making your own choices, and carving your own path. Allowing yourself to define who you are and making your own mark on the world. And this is why, right before he died, Ace thanked Luffy. Because despite how everyone in the world saw him, Luffy saw him for who he was. Ace. Whew, this one made me pretty emotional. In the comments below, let us know some of your favorite anime deaths. And hey, if you're in the mood for more ranking videos, be sure to check out the top 10 anime opening scenes. That one's pretty wild. Until next time, take care, guys.